Let me see Cash when you're ready to show some of it. My only without as somebody that's played Cash for many years. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. I'd love to talk about Cash. Yeah.
This is just a dumb idea that I haven't even talked with Volcano about it, but
is Sal still part of the decision making, by the way? No.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't do anything without asking him. I don't know to what extent, like, because it's a prior project, I think it's treated a little differently, but like, I honestly don't know to what extent he's going to be involved, other than just like, yeah, he says like, go for it. So that's all.
Dude, I've been playing Cash, and dude, I had to play Sal on Cash in invite matches back in the day. Dude, you know how annoying that was? I had to play this guy. I'd never played the map before in my entire life, and I got to play the map creator in actual games. That shit was ass. All right, anyway, I just wanted to complain about that because I'm old. Anyway, go ahead. What's your crazy idea?
So, okay, so let me just spitball an idea for B, because I think...
Killdozer, thank you very much for the raid. Sorry, I missed that. Sorry.
The issue would be...
Thank you. I'm just talking with FMPONE right now.
Because you have Heaven only as a safe rotate in.
I unbanned that guy.
From A. And then Vent, I mean, it's limited in terms of what you can do on rotating in from Vent, right? So my idea is, you know, when you're walking up to Heaven, you're approaching Heaven, and then there's that wall bang spot on the left. Do you know what I'm referring to?
Yeah. You're talking about walking up Heaven, and you're talking about the spammable wall, the side that you can shoot straight through, or the metal.
Right. Yeah. So my idea, theory crafting, is if there was just a giant pile of rubble that became the Heaven ramp, and so that spammable wall becomes totally covered up to the top in the rubble wall ramp. So the CTs can hop over the rubble into vent drop. The Ts cannot use it because it's too tall. Perhaps they would be able to boost. I don't know.
Like a reverse boost? Yeah, okay.
Correct. So basically it would be a one-way. CTs can either hop over into checkers, or they can continue up Heaven ramp. What do you think of that?
It makes, I think right now, without having any of the gameplay of CS2, I'm just trying to think of like pain points of Cash. I don't really think rotating through vents was ever really, it never really felt too bad, because at least at high level play, you're not the contact guy. Like, you're not, your job most of the time from vent was to duel anybody across from you if you wanted, and then you were usually waiting for your teammates to either like get through CT lower, or a teammate on the big flank, or somebody once again like in Heaven. You were kind of more like a backstabbing option and follow up rather than the point of retaking.
I guess my concern as a CT rotating into B is like, if they have long B going into, if they have tree room covered, right? And
you're saying they're in tree room, like in?
No, I'm saying they're in sight, and they've got control of T room just by looking at it, or they push out a little bit into tree room, and they are in sight, they're looking at Heaven. Like, to me, that's a tough rotate at that point, because you know, they can throw a couple of mollies, they can throw a nade, and then how are you going to get into B exactly? It's not really clear to me. So I feel like a third option to drop into checkers, again, just theory crafting, not saying I would actually
but you're actually forgetting that you have the option of the flank, right? Which is really important on Cash, because you have so much of Cash is just mid simulator. It's why like, I think the map is really fun to play and play in like pickup games, but at a higher level it was kind of getting a bit redundant. Is so much of Cash revolves around mid that the idea in your head, you're saying like, oh, they have sight and they have checkers and CT smoked, and all you can do is come in through Heaven or vent. But in reality, usually the rotations are in there before, at least like from what I remember. Maybe I'm misremembering, and you would usually have an option to insert somebody on the flank, and it was usually that vent player. Like, that vent player could kind of make that choice. Do I want to try to big flank and then come through that way, or do I want to come through checkers? Also, util on retaking B wasn't too bad, because you could throw nades from heaven and then throw flashes to get your players in through CT. So as long as you didn't lose tree room, you could usually have a decent fight back into the round. Also, because you maintain heaven, you could smoke off. You could smoke off checkers and be main. It's your choice if you're not complete. Like, well, they can't take heaven, so you kind of get what I mean.
If you think that rotating to B is not the issue, then what would you say is the issue with B, or what would you change about B?
I just like the start rounds were pretty similar. People would smoke off B main, try to molly checkers to get toxic, because if you don't have toxic control, you can't threaten B, right? Because that's the only place you can throw nades from, for better or for worse. So the round starts were just limited for T's. I think it kind of got a bit, which is why mid became more important, because your only access to other sites besides like B main or A main were you either had to go through a vent or a door. And so having access to mid as a T was super important in some fashion, because it was really the only way you could kind of manipulate what the CTs were doing. And then on the flip side, that's why CTs you started seeing a lot of setups of like 2B, 3 mid, or 2B, 2 mid, 1A. You'd see a 1-3-1 setup a lot, but that was more prominent with ops. I don't know. The gameplay would be different.
Issues with B are actually more from the T perspective than from the CT perspective.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember the stats. I'd have to look it up. Let me see. All time.
I guess my instinct would be to help the CTs on cash. Like that would be my instinct. And I think we searched for ways to do that. I don't think the mid kind of window was the right way to do it. In hindsight, I think the A changes, generally speaking.
Yeah, mid window doesn't feel fun. As somebody that's played, so I play a lot of cash in Go when you redid it. Because I play like for fun games with my subs on there all the time. And yeah, window just always felt claustrophobic. I love using that word, but I don't like when I get that feeling in CS. Like you go up this tiny little ladder and you're like wiggling back and forth, and it feels like you should use it, but it kind of just doesn't feel useful for either side.
but so like taking that away, keeping the A changes, I think.
So it's about 50-50. What if I
do? To me, that even more emphasizes the need. And again, this is just my opinion. Sal may not want to change anything. I don't know, but like, it seems like helping the CTs is probably necessary.
No, you're not wrong. So I'm looking at it. I'm like pulling up I filtered by top 30 and actually skewed more. Let's see this if I do top 20. Just kind of looking.
If it's 48-51, then you probably don't need to change anything, right? I mean, realistically, but
well, I think you should still change something. Yeah, like the problem that I have is it's like I said, it's like the Dust 2 thing I was telling you about. Like on Dust 2, they took it away and they just basically reskinned it and then dropped it back in, and everybody hated it still. Maybe more so, right? Because you're expecting things to be different as a player. And the map, while there were some subtle changes, it was the same, right? You coin flip long, and then they tried to address it with the mid change and the mid change. Well, no, I know, but I'm saying like
it seems extreme to say like everybody hated it. Do you know what I mean? Like
no. Sorry, yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. I hated it. Let me be specific. I hated it, and I think a lot of people still play it. I think a lot of people still play it because it's a map that they like. But I mean, when I say everybody, I mean when I was watching professional Counter-Strike, Dust 2 wasn't like the map that many teams played anymore or even really wanted to play. It became a map that some teams like specialized in. And I think I don't want to speak for everybody. So yeah, that was honestly a good call out. But it felt underwhelming as a player for me to like wait for a map like Dust 2 to come back and then just have it feel like it was just a reskin.
Well, let me ask you this. If you're going back in time and you're seeing Dust 2 and you see that they haven't changed anything, why does that bother you? Like what specifically was wrong with Dust 2 where you're saying it's a lack of strategic options? Is that where you're looking at?
Yeah, because I think the game of Counter-Strike continues to push like on, especially at the higher level. So when the amount of options are set in stone and kind of we'll just say min max to the highest level that we've seen, and they're usually like I feel like you can see maps go all the way to the end, and or we don't see many maps go all the way to the end because they're not like out as long as a map like Dust 2. It's hard to compare a map to Dust 2 necessarily because yeah, like they just haven't existed as long. But when it comes back and it just feels like you're watching the same round on repeat after it was reintroduced into the pool, at least for me it sucked. That's why I didn't like it.
You wanted to see some meaningful changes that would actually make rounds feel different round per round.
Yeah. Like
Terrorists are
some
doing
sort of
different things.
gameplay adjustment that actually felt like it had real meaning, that gave me as a player more options. However, didn't like completely change the entire map, which is probably like the hardest thing to do. But something where like a risk reward is different, right? I don't feel like any risk reward scenario on Dust 2 ever changed. I think mid changed with like when they made the update where they tried to block it off, but that was horrible. I hated that.
Remind me of what you're talking about.
Like they recently, you know how like the T's could just look down mid, now they have to jump down to look down
Oh,
mid.
right.
Yeah.
No, I liked the fact that they could see down mid. Like, if
Yeah.
anything, that's the kind of stuff I would ramp up, and then maybe the map does feel different. I don't know. Just thinking out loud. But I don't want to take up too much of your time. This has been super helpful. I don't
Oh,
have
I'm
all the
just chilling.
answers for cash. You know what I mean? Like, I
No, me
don't
either.
know.
This is a, you know, when I went to the Valve offices, this is a great example of the problem sometimes is sometimes as a player, I can like tell you what I don't like and what feels bad, but at the same time, I'm not gonna lie, I'm stupid. Like, I don't actually know. I mean, are you looking at the heat map on my stream right now?
I am, yes.
So you see what I mean though with like how B main, like you see how people just kind of like the whole purpose is everybody to dive into checkers and get that and then have that as like an access route, but most people didn't like to be like there was like one guy as a T like would go outside of B and your whole job was to create pressure, and then a lot of the action actually came from opening squeaky door, prodding around A main with an op, having a guy on the floor of mid with a guy on boost. Like, dude, that boost area is crazy.
So I'm going to be a dork and draw attention back to the hypothetical that I was giving to you
Yeah,
about
go ahead.
the checkers area. Like, see how that heat map is so light right there in that
Mm-hmm.
hypothetical under heaven thing that I was talking to you
Yeah,
about?
yeah, you're talking about like right. Yeah, I got
I'm
it. I mean,
watching your
you'll see it in
stream and it's
15
a
seconds.
delay, but
Yeah,
I just
I
want to make
got it.
sure.
Here, actually, I'll
So,
stream on Discord again. I got you. Wait.
okay.
We have the technology. No, not CS. Fuck you. Screen share. Screens. All right, here. So you're talking about right here.
Yeah, you see how it's kind of a lighter heat map in that area?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, again, when I see that, I do kind of feel like there's an opportunity for something there. And then you look at the statistics and they're relatively close, and the CTs do need a smidge of help. So I might mention this idea to Volcano, and he might look at me and say, "That's stupid. We're not doing that." So, but for me, I look at that and I think, okay, there is a potential opportunity to do something with that area, and it could
Yeah.
bring some of that heat map forward, get some players interacting with that space, and then if it is a boost spot for the T's, then although it would be used infrequently, the T's could use it as a strategic option to really consolidate that control over the tree room, the heaven space, the rotate in that area. And at that point, maybe, you introduce maybe another spoke spot or some utility spot into B. I don't know. I don't have all the answers right now, and I haven't discussed it with Volcano. So the last thing I want to do is be like, we're gonna do this. This is coming. It's not the case, but I'm just brainstorming here. Like, I do think there's an
Yeah.
opportunity in that specific area.
Yeah. It'd maybe be cool. I don't even know. I'm trying to think. Yeah. See, for me as a T, I always felt like I had options mid, I had options boost, A main, but like the B main always kind of felt like the same round. That's like
I agree with you on that.
player would like come here, bounce smoke here, lands here, bounce molly here, get here to push off op. And then this dude just literally sits in here the entire round because you need somebody here that can then access these windows. Because that's the only way you can throw any utility into
Okay,
B.
another stupid idea. Just hear me out. Look at the heat map in Sunroom. No
Wait, what do you
activity.
call in sunroom?
Sunroom. Do you remember Sunroom is like playground?
Like where? Just A or
Very
B? Sorry,
bottom of the map, on adjacent to B.
talking about over here.
No, a little to your left. So down.
Oh, there's talking about this
Sunroom.
room. Sorry. Oh
Sunroom.
shit. Sorry, I was literally talking about this room, so I thought you meant somewhere else. I'm sorry.
So look at the heat map there.
I'm
Isn't
dumb.
there an opportunity perhaps to have, and again, these could be the dumbest ideas ever, but isn't there an opportunity idea there to have like something like a catwalk going into site or something? Um, Potentially,
Well,
you know,
another dumb idea. Counter. All right. What if you had similar to Nuke? You actually, since there's no skybox in CS2, you literally just have skylights that are accessible to throw nades into.
on the B site.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why we didn't do that. I think Volcano didn't want to do that, but I would I would
That to
really
me seems
advocate for
interesting.
that.
Because then you could like as a T, you don't always have to do this like same. I mean, obviously it depends on what kind of skylights. Like I'm not saying like they should be able to do anything with the skylight, but having a guy maybe over here being able to create pressure without having to be in this area every time. But then because this guy doesn't want to be here every time, CTs might be more willing to take this area, stuff like that. I don't know. Interesting stuff like that.
I
It'll be
think we're
kind
gonna
of
have
fun.
to do a fine line because I think that so I'd say 50% of the changes in the last version stuck. The A site changes I think stuck.
You like them? Oh, like the new sightline here,
I
because
mean, in
that
my
was
what
probably
do
the
you
biggest
think?
thing, right? That was like that was the
I
biggest
don't want to
change is
say they
this
stuck
sightline.
and then you think that they were terrible. So you tell me what you think.
Uh, I'm trying to remember all the changes. I've played it a lot, so this was the sightline, but I'm trying to remember the changes because I'd played the most recent version of it. So
So before the
you're talking
oldest
about this one
CS:GO
right here, right?
version,
It was
yeah,
just
on the
this angle,
oldest
really.
CS:GO version, there was a building in the top left corner of the entire map, and it blocked utility. So we added a fence instead, so you could throw utility into quad from CT truck.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
We added a crate at the corner of the fence.
Talking about the
Uh,
billboard here too that you had
Correct, the
up top.
billboard. So that was the change, and in my opinion, and I want to hear what you think, but I think those changes, quote unquote, stuck. I think they worked well enough that we can continue to have them, but maybe you
Oh yeah,
disagree.
and then you added the box here. Well, no, that was there. As a T, I didn't like that once I had access to a bomb site, your options where you could plant are kind of tough. And the CTs having this sightline always felt a little bad, but you kind of had it before. It was just more pronounced in the newer version. I
Which
don't know.
sightline?
Like the truck sightline, you
Okay,
could
right.
hold the planter. Like if there wasn't a smoke or some sort of utility used and you had an opper truck, that opper could literally make sure the sight guy never left without at least him getting a shot at him. He just had to sit there. You could smoke it and people did. It always felt a little bad. I think it's hard for me to remember the different changes on cache from the more recent version. I almost wish I didn't play the more recent version of cache as much as I did. Let me pull up the map.
Well, in terms of what I know didn't work, in my own personal opinion, is the mid window, so that will not be returning.
Yeah, I did not like that. The mid window, I would agree. I don't think it really added much, and I don't really know. I can't find it, but whatever. It didn't really add anything. Yeah, I would say it just kind of made you feel like you had an option, but it kind of just punished you. And
So
I think
can
the
tell you
only
from
thing
the
that I
art.
liked
Go ahead.
about the window was I could throw. The one thing I liked about the window is I could throw utility through it at the start of a round.
That was just what I was gonna say. Is I think we're gonna. So basically, what I have in the art version of Cache right now for for the CS2 remake is I just took the window and I raised it up. So you can throw utility out of it and stuff, but you cannot look through it.
Even with a boost?
Even with a boost. Because I don't
Okay.
think that would be fun either.
Yeah. No. Hey, dude, just sit here the entire round and be my stool.
I mean, somebody might like that.
That's cool. Yeah, I wish I had a little bit more feedback. My just like feelings were when I played the new cache, it was what the fuck took so long? It's just green now, if I'm just being honest. And then the window felt bad. I was hoping to I don't know what changes I wanted to see. I'll be real. Like I really don't know. Like I said, just like when a map goes away for a while and it comes back, at least to me, I'd want to see like a reason for it being gone. Like if I'm not gonna get to play this thing and enjoy playing this map, then when it comes back, there better be some new shit for me to try. And the mid window kind of felt a little underwhelming. A did feel a bit more approachable as a whole. It just didn't feel too much different.
Constructive feedback coming
well, I'm
now.
not going to
This
commit
is
to you
super
that the
cool.
map is going to.
I didn't say you were. I'm just telling you how I felt.
No. I just want to set expectations. Like I don't know that the map is going to.
Some people literally don't want you to make any changes, bro. There's a lot of people that are like, give me cash back, give me the old version back, put that shit gray, take the green out, all good, bro. Send it. You know? They're like, if I gotta play Vertigo one more fucking time, and you don't bring cash back, I'm gonna scream. You know? That's so.
Here's what I will tell you.
It's not all that.
Myself over glass,
and I do realize that chat
will look good. Like nobody's gonna say that the map doesn't look good. So I understand the last look was a little controversial. Probably got swept around a little too much, you know. So it'll be straightforward, looking good. But in terms of the expectations of how much of this layout is gonna change, it's really hard to say right now.
Yeah, it's tough because like I don't think it was a bad map at all. Like I like I said, playing pickup games and shit, and even playing on teams, I'd never disliked the map. It just sometimes, the map feels a little played out. But so does Mirage, and people love Mirage, and Mirage is a very popular map. And I'd say Mirage is a very good map. That doesn't make Cache bad. This is just me as a guy that has way too many hours in this game and plays too much. I'm always looking to just be like, all right, we got something new for me, bro. What are we cooking up? You know, like.
The other thing that may happen is like we release a version that's very similar to what people expect in terms of like it's gonna be just a great looking version of Cache, and then maybe we talk with fl0m, maybe we talk with other streamers, maybe we talk with pros, and just see like how many changes do you guys really want? Like, is it this change or is it many more changes? You know what I mean? Like I'm not right now.
You should make a list of changes and put images and then just make it a multiple choice question. do you like A, B, or C? And then like it's like you know this area right here that you're talking about, and then you like put the skylights in. You like do you like A, B, or C? Multiple choice,
designed by committee, designed by Twitter.
Oh Jesus Christ, it'd be horrible. We'd be fucked. Oh shit.
But anyway, man, that's I think all I can really say at this time. So, but I really appreciate the fact that you took the time to do this. Like, I wish more streamers would do this, but also probably even if they did, it wouldn't be as good as what you just did. So I really appreciate it a lot.
I love when you gas me up like this. This is incredible. Keep it going.
It's not gas, it's how I feel, dog. You really have been playing this game for long enough, and you're a smart enough guy that.
Well, I played Cache, dude. Like I said, I've played every version of Cache, and dude, it was crazy. Like I remember, like how ugly A main used to be. There used to not even be a squeaky door. You remember when there was just a dumpster over here, dude, in a dark corner that you guys made, and it was just A main was just fucking massive. That shit was wild. You just had one giant garage right here at one version. But
I don't know if I worked on that one or not. That might have been early days.
Like I said, I was playing against Sal early days of Cache. Like I had to play the early versions of this shit. This map was something. Yeah. Let me know if Sal's working on it. That way I can use it for clickbait in a YouTube video.
I think he is busy with Valorant, but I do think that well, I know that he's given me the heads up to proceed. So I think that's like if he was to come back and be like, I'm gonna make a new CS2 map, like there's no way he would be allowed to do that. But I think because it's a map that predated his employment at Riot, it's not such a big deal. So I don't know. I don't want to speak for Sal. That's the
No,
last
yeah,
thing I wanna do.
you gotta make sure. Yeah, no, I feel you.